Okay, so just to recap the basic rules of paragraph writing, there should only be one main idea or point per paragraph. The content of the paragraph should support the thesis and be consistent with topic and concluding sentences. We won't know the thesis necessarily in the case of these analyses, but we can see whether or not within that paragraph the topic and concluding sentences are consistent with the rest of the content. There should be a logical flow of ideas within the paragraph. So here we'd be looking at the use of transition signals. And there should be no unnecessary repetition within or between paragraphs. So we don't have the whole essay to look at in this case, or the examples we'll be looking at in class. We can't see between paragraphs, but we can analyse whether or not there's unnecessary repetition within. Similarly, this one is less relevant for this activity because we're only looking at one paragraph. But we can look and see, does it begin and end in the author's own words? We can also see, is there a good balance between the voice of the author and the voices of others? And is the research appropriately integrated? So these are some of the things we can have a look at. Okay, so here is a paragraph, but what's different about this is that, just to ease into it, we're doing a paragraph from a history text, so not one from an undergraduate essay. So there will be some differences because of this. So what I think would be good to do first is to have a read, pause the video, have a read through the paragraph and see if you can identify again what each sentence is doing. So it's very similar to when we did the introductions activities, where we analysed introductions and we said, okay, what is sentence 1 doing? What is sentence 2 doing? Sentence 3, etc. In this case, we'll be looking at, so for example, can you find for the topic sentence? What is the function of sentence 3 in this paragraph? So I might get you to, I'll just leave a bit of time for you to pause and have a read over that before I come back and go through it. Okay, so in the first sentence, according to the reports of Captain James Cook and Sir Joseph Banks, Botany Bay offered many advantages. So we would say here that this is the topic sentence, and that really what the topic is about what Cook and Banks believed Botany Bay had, in this case their advantages. So sentence number 2, these included a coastal area with sheltered port, friendly natives, a pleasant climate, fertile soil, food sources including wild fruits, vegetables, birds and fish, and an environment in which the convicts could be self-sufficient in a year. So what this is doing is, in my view, is elaborating on the advantages. So it's providing an elaboration of what these advantages that Cook and Banks believed Botany Bay had. The third sentence, it was also attractive due to its great distance from Britain and the fact that convicts would have no means of escape. We could say is further elaborating this. And the final sentence there, which also begins finally, it was a strategic stronghold in the east and it promised to be an important naval store of flax, hemp and timber. And again, we have more elaboration of these advantages. So while this paragraph definitely focuses on the topic, it's all about the advantages that that were in the reports, the advantages offered by Botany Bay, as in the reports of James Cook and Joseph Banks. What we have here is a very descriptive paragraph. It doesn't actually really make an argument. And in this case, this might explain, for example, why there is no concluding sentence. Because a concluding sentence would really achieve very little in a paragraph which is not actually presenting an argument. One thing I would like to ask you to think about in this paragraph is, can you identify the transition signals? And that way we can go over them in class and see what you came up with and discuss if we came up with the same thing. So see if you can identify those transition signals, that is the words and the phrases that show the relationship between the different ideas.